We all set massive goals. We plan to write the book, build the business, or finally get in shape. But a common trap is waiting until we feel motivated to actually start. That reliance on a feeling is a wishbone, a fragile, fleeting emotion that fails when we face a modern environment specifically designed to distract us. Every morning, we begin with a limited amount of mental capacity, known as cognitive bandwidth. Every single alert, text message, and news update we process drains that battery. Relying on the wishbone of motivation to push through this noise leads to stagnation. To reach an elite level of output, you must replace that feeling with the backbone of discipline. World-class willpower is not a genetic gift. It is not an inherent strength that a lucky few are simply born with. Personal discipline is a physiological muscle in the brain. Like any physical muscle, it only grows stronger through relentless, deliberate strain. Building this strength doesn't require overhauling your entire life at once. You only need to automate one keystone habit, a core behavior that multiplies the effectiveness of every other action you take. Rising at 5 a.m. is the ultimate training protocol for your willpower. It is often called the mother of all routines. Waking at this hour provides a unique environmental advantage: total isolation. It shields your brain from the demands of the outside world, preventing the attention residue that accumulates when we shift focus between tasks and interruptions. Simply waking up early isn't enough to train the brain effectively. You must structure this victory hour into 3 distinct 20-minute segments, known as the 20-20-20 formula. The 5 a.m. club biologically primes your brain and body for peak performance before the rest of the world opens its eyes. Looking at this first 20-minute pocket, from 5 to 5:20 a.m., intense exercise is a non-negotiable requirement. Sweating immediately upon waking triggers a biological flush. It cleanses the body of cortisol, the stress hormone that naturally builds up overnight. This movement also releases BDNF, a chemical that improves the firing rate of neural connections and sharpens cognitive focus for the day ahead. At 5:20 a.m., the second pocket begins. This segment requires you to reflect, using 20 minutes to journal, meditate, or sit in contemplation. This period of absolute quiet provides the recovery phase of the workout. It dissolves stress and recharges the cognitive bandwidth you will need to execute complex tasks later. The final block, from 5:40 to 6 a.m., is dedicated to growth. You use this time to read books, review goals, or study material to calibrate your professional craft. History makers prioritize this kind of deep, isolated morning study to refine their expertise and achieve their status. Executing this morning workout stretches the willpower muscle to its limit. By tackling the hardest task first, you ensure your highest levels of discipline are applied before the fatigue of daily decision-making sets in. Stretching the willpower muscle is difficult. During the initial phases, waking at 5 a.m. will be agonizing as your brain fights to stay in bed. Research indicates that it takes approximately 66 days of continuous practice for the brain to rewire itself and lock in a new routine. The goal of this process is to reach a neurobiological threshold known as the automaticity point. Crossing this threshold hardwires the behavior. Waking up before dawn functions as an effortless reflex, requiring zero active motivation to engage. This creates a massive surplus of cognitive energy. The willpower once consumed by the struggle to get out of bed is now entirely available for your next ambition. Elite performers reclaim that willpower and instantly redirect it, using it to install their next world-class behavior. Masters of their craft leveraged this cycle, stacking automated habits of victory until exceptional success became their baseline. True history makers do not rely on motivation, nor do they constantly drain their willpower. They endure the friction long enough to automate victory until they literally forget how not to do it.